felt so strong, I'm back, I'm feeling like there's nothing I can't try. And if you with me, put your hands high.
Welcome back to the Sports By Schmucks podcast. And when I say welcome back, we kind of slacked off in July. I have a valid excuse. My parents came all the way from Hamilton to Saskatchewan to visit, so I was out of commission for 2 weeks. So,
and I was just pretty busy.
And since I'm kind of the one that does the recording of it, I know Sean is always willing to do one, but
doesn't have the capability.
Well, you probably could do your own, just record your own voice talking to yourself.
It's just like every Saturday night for me.
No, that's not fair. You have friends. Who live around you, I should say. I should qualify that.
There you go. Except the ones that don't live, or the ones that don't live in Saskatchewan, like douchebags.
Hey, that's harsh. It hurts the heart as well.
Also true.
It is. Well,
you will not deny it.
I will deny the douchebag part. I will not deny the Saskatchewan part. We are at episode number 28 of the Sports By Schmucks podcast for all-day Adrian Peterson, or Craig Butler, safety for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, who played for the Saskatchewan Roughriders last year, so let's tie that back into Saskatchewan there.
Nobody cares about Saskatchewan.
Hey, I brought it up. I'm going to at least tie it into something I'm talking about to make it seem like it's relevant to us.
I'm kidding, all of Saskatchewan. We all care about you greatly.
Okay. Yeah, we'll go with that. So, since our last podcast, a lot of things have happened. Germany won the World Cup. LeBron went home. A 28-year-old made me question what I'm doing with my life.
Wait, say that one again?
Which one? A 28-year-old what? Which one?
The 28-year-old made you question what you're doing with your life.
Oh, the Leafs hired an assistant GM.
Oh, yeah, okay.
28 years old from the Sea, Kyle Dubas. Yes.
Yeah, I know where you're going with this. Makes me feel depressed as all hell.
Pardon?
And makes you feel depressed as all hell.
Yes. Because, 2 years ago, in 2 years from now, if I want to be on the same level as him, I've got to be at Toronto newspaper or Hamilton newspaper or something.
Oh wait, you got to be way beyond that.
Well, no, because let's say Toronto newspaper,
the Toronto Star or something.
Let's say that is the full equivalent to a full GM ship.
Yeah.
Right. Then assistant GM, then maybe that's
a lesser Toronto paper or the Spectator.
Yeah, something like that, or a big the big London paper, or the big Windsor paper, or the big Calgary or Edmonton or something like that.
Yeah,
I got to be up to that level in 2 years, in 2.5 years.
No pressure.
Done. It won't be done. It won't be done. So where do you want to start? Because we don't really have a form. Most weeks we do have a casual conversation, but even more so this week, since so much has happened. And a lot of it's kind of dated now, since it's kind of happened for a couple of weeks ago. We're just gonna talk about kind of the last 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks in sports. Since the last one was July 3rd, almost. That was almost a month ago.
Yeah, we've really slacked.
Yes, we have. I blame the economy.
I was actually gonna say that too, but
okay. So the economy. Thank you for ruining our podcast. So where do you want to start?
Well, what's been going on in sports? We've had LeBron, we've had the GM. I'll let you. You're the host. Okay, then I'm going to start off with a story that pretty much derailed 2 days of work for me, which is LeBron James going back to Cleveland, and not so much as it was big news in Saskatchewan or anything like that, but on Friday, the Friday before he signed, it seemed like he was. There was all the reports that the announcement was going to be made on Friday at 3:30 Eastern time. Yeah.
Now I don't know. Fridays are are normally a very slow day for me. We catch up on some archiving, get our stuff set for the weekend. But really, once I heard that LeBron was announcing at 3:30, I just pretty much dropped everything and just had Twitter open. I was listening to Tim and Sid the entire time. I just wanted to be the first person, even though I knew I wouldn't be the first person. I just wanted to be
one of the first people
to hear it or to see it. And then nothing happened. And that pretty much took all my Friday. When I went home Friday night, because all the rumors were he was going to be announcing before he went to Brazil, because he's supposed to be in Brazil for the World Cup, I was looking at flights from Las Vegas to Rio to figure out a time when he would announce by. That's a true story.
That's intense right there.
I was thirsty for news.
That's dedication to your craft.
I was really thirsty for news.
Or you just had a really boring day?
Let's go thirsty for news. It sounds better.
Yeah.
And then on the Monday when he signs, I get a text from a friend, because on Monday is one of our paper days where I have to do all the layouts for the sports sections and other pages and stuff like that. And then I get a text from someone, like, LeBron back to Cleveland. And I didn't believe it. I was like, very funny. And then I looked online, and then I saw the essay. And it was a very well-written essay, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I know it was by LeBron as told to Lee Jenkins of Sports Illustrated, so obviously there's some cleaning up there, but did you happen to read it?
I read it. I can't remember really word for word at this point. It's
that's a couple of weeks. But it was pretty much saying I'm coming home. And one of the things that I found interesting about it, he was saying that Miami was almost like him going to college. That's what he equated it to, like 4 years away and going to college. And I thought that was really interesting because it's something that he missed out on. He's been in Ohio pretty much his entire life up until going to Miami. So I'm like, even then, like, just to get away from, like, I know when I went away to school in Belleville, like, that's not even on the same, like, that's not even the same level. I'm not even trying to compare.
No, I was gonna say that's not close, Brett.
but you know what it's being away from home for the first time.
Yeah.
It's
I don't know if I'd equate it to that.
I know.
But
I'm just saying, like, there's like that weird sense that you're away from home.
Yeah.
For the first time. Like, I know he's traveled and done all that other stuff, but it's kind of a different feeling when you're out there and away from I don't know.
Yeah, can I give a little mini high five to LeBron James sending cupcakes to all his neighbors for disturbing them with all the, like, TV traffic, like, in the area? Like, cameras. That's pretty awesome.
Great.
That's
classic. Great. That is.
That's just maybe like LeBron James a little bit more there. Like, he took the time of his day to get custom cupcakes made and sent to all of his neighbors.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Well, I would want to do something. I would be pretty angry if someone. I would be. Actually, I don't know. I'd be angry, but at the same time, like I know why they trampled. It's all good. Type of thing. Yeah. So after the long and short of it, were you surprised he went back to Cleveland?
No. It was gonna be Miami or Cleveland.
Yeah.
There's nowhere else I could really see him. Like, where else can give him the money? Where else has a good enough team where they can win now that has Kaepernick to do what he needs? Not very many teams that are going to completely rebuild the rosters. Cleveland would, because James is their, like, lifeblood, their savior. He is actually a boom for their economy. One person gives a boom to their economy.
Well, yeah, the reports were saying like he would bring in $500 million into Cleveland by himself.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And with Miami, like, he has, like, that's his other roots. So I didn't really see him go to New York, or, like, there's no other, like, team was reported other than, like, that. Melo, though, he had no, like, invested interest in, like, where he could have went, so that was the big one where I didn't really know where he would go. LeBron was just down to Cleveland or Miami, and Cleveland has a much, much better team.
Oh, yeah, especially, now, yeah.
I think even if Bosch and Wade stay there, I would still say that Cleveland's kind of a better team.
With LeBron in Miami?
No, I mean, if he had to pick, like, is it going to be LeBron, Bosch, and Wade, or if it was going to be LeBron, Wiggins, and Irving. I think that's a better combination. It probably is his head, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I meant.
Okay. I thought you were saying, like... Okay. Yeah, what you're saying makes sense. I remember when he opted out, I was like, okay, he's gone. But then when Bosch and Wade opt out, I was like, they can't opt out
and not be coming back.
And not all be coming back.
Yeah.
Because Wade gave up so much money.
That was stupid. That's just a stupid amount of money he gave up.
It seems stupid now.
No, it's always been stupid. Why would he give up, like, what? Well, $40 million left in his contract?
Because if they want to win, they need to opt out and restructure. So it just seems worse now for at least on, like, the public, the public side, that he opted out and lost all that money.
Yeah.
With essentially no return on the investment. Because that's all it was. It was an investment in the future of the team and getting LeBron to stay.
Yeah.
But so when all three of them opted out, I was kind of more 75% he's going back to Miami. But then as the announcement kept
being delayed and waiting, yeah.
You keep thinking, why? Okay, if he's going back, why haven't they all just re-signed now?
Yeah.
Or what's
it should have been a quick in and out.
Yeah,
instead of okay, there's another day. There's going to announce. There's going to announce 2 days from now. There's going to announce another 2 days from now.
Exactly. And up to your Melo point, in the long run, I think he made the wrong move.
Really?
Like sure he gets the max deal in New York, but there's nothing around him in New York.
Not yet.
So then you're asking Melo you're not really asking much of him, he's getting that much money, but he's sacrificing 2 more years of his prime while Phil Jackson rebuilds around him.
It could be. It's not that big of a rebuild.
They got nothing.
Yeah, but in the East, there's not really anything that's too crazy, scary. Look at what team can you say in the East, maybe other than Cleveland, is gonna be there. It's gonna be that big threat. I can't think of anyone.
Chicago, Toronto, Washington.
Possibly the Pacers.
The Pacers, we don't know what happened to the Pacers in that second half. We don't know if they got into a funk or if they peaked too early.
Even if not, they're still probably a playoff team.
Oh yeah, they're definitely a playoff.
Will they be the number 1 seed or 2 seed or 3 seed this year? Maybe not. Probably maybe the 4th or 5th.
Oh, are you saying New York could be a playoff team? I don't think so.
I don't see why they wouldn't be. They could probably sneak in.
Okay, so let's look at the playoff teams from this year, right?
Oh shit, you're asking me to remember that.
You had Miami. Okay, you had Indiana, Miami, Toronto, Brooklyn, Atlanta, Chicago, Washington, and the now Hornets.
Yeah, good for them. I like their new shirts and stuff.
Which team? Okay, so Miami drops out, but you replace them with Cleveland.
Yes.
What other team drops out?
That is a good question.
Because you remember Atlanta was still Atlanta. They were a bad team, but they were without Millsap. Was it Millsap?
Brooklyn.
No, they were without Al Horford.
You think? I think Brooklyn probably drops out.
Brooklyn could drop out. Yes.
So you put Cleveland.
Do I think
Charlotte?
You budget
a fringe team as well. Atlanta should be better.
You budget Cleveland for a top 4 seed, top half of the East.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
You probably drop Miami out.
I would drop Miami out.
If not, once again, they're going to be they'll probably just be trying to battle for it.
They might be in the they'd be in the 8th spot, if they just tank and just fall.
Yeah.
They keep their pick.
But if they shot, Philly doesn't have a shot. Orlando might be better.
They'll be better, but they're not going to be not going to be playoff material yet.
Detroit
could get up there. Detroit, yes.
New York's not that terrible. They're only 1 game.
So after some technical difficulties, we are back. Sean, you were just making a point about New York basketball in the playoffs. So why don't you make that again, because I didn't hear it, so still be original for me.
Oh, well, it's going to be original for everyone then. Just that my point is, I was just kind of stating where the teams would probably end up at the end of the year. Did you guys look at probably Cleveland number 1? If you just play ballpark 8 now, probably Cleveland number 1?
I don't know. Maybe I'll give them a top. I'll give them top 3 for sure.
You're probably doing Chicago 1, 2, or 3.
Yep.
Probably look at Toronto 3-4 again.
Yep.
Maybe Washington slips into 3-4, 5. So right there's your top 5 teams.
Yeah, I'd have Indiana still on the top 5.
Sorry, and then Indiana. So
even though they lost Lance Stevenson, who was a great player for them.
Yeah.
I still think they're in the top 5 of the East because the East is so bad.
Oh, it's not bad. It's competitively average.
Okay, way to be ultra positive there. The East is bad. You could say it.
Okay. So you take Miami out, you slip Cleveland in there, and then the top 5 teams can go either way. And then you see Brooklyn's dropping completely out. Charlotte, I don't know where to slot them.
They're going to be up. They'll
be better. I don't know.
I think they'll be the 6th seed in the East.
Okay, so we have their 6th. So then you're looking at probably Atlanta at 7.
Yeah.
Like a 4-4 back.
Yep.
Now, do I think New York can steal the 8th spot? Yeah. They're not a bad team. They're not a great team. They're not a bad team. So I don't see Cleveland. I don't see Miami sneaking in there with just what the cast they have now. Milwaukee, Philly, Orlando possibly could if they mature quickly. Boston, no. Detroit, possibly. That's really about it.
I think Detroit is a good young team.
Yeah.
And Andre Drummond has developed immensely since he's been in the league. So I think Detroit might be a team that could sneak up in a bad Eastern Conference to be an 8 seed because they've got the defense there.
Yeah.
New York. Okay. New York doesn't have that defense. You know?
No, they're just gonna have to outscore you to win.
So if you exactly, and I know Melo is one of the best scorers in the league, but
it's not so much one man can do.
Exactly. So
even LeBron couldn't win in Cleveland.
Yeah, his first time around. And so when he had the opportunity to go to Chicago, with Derrick Rose coming back, if he took less money to go to Chicago,
which would have been smart.
I
put them probably as the favorites.
That's instant favorite in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, I put them as the favorite. Period.
Okay, I can see that.
I was right with San Antonio last year.
I know that's why I didn't say no. I said I could see that.
Yeah.
If you listen to me.
I did.
I mean, especially it takes a huge burden off Derrick Rose too.
Yeah, so he doesn't have to be the guy. He can be one of the guys. He can be
one of the guys and almost ease his way back in to being back to his all-star form.
Yeah. But I'm going to think the drafting of Doug McDermott kind of squashed that. Doug McDermott.
Just you and your McDermott love. Just because he has the same last name as you.
Yep.
If I got excited every time a Smith was drafted, I would just be constantly excited.
Yeah, Smith is the most common goddamn name in the world.
How
often do you see someone in professional sports named McDermott?
I
know 2 other people in sports of all time named McDermott.
Are we talking North American or can we go overseas? I'm sure there's probably some McDermotts in some Irish soccer league.
Oh, probably, but I'm talking North American. I only know of 2. One's a coach for the Carolina Panthers, defensive coordinator, Sean McDermott, and the other one is Sean McDermott, who used to be a tight end for the Buccaneers. Other than that, I had nothing.
Okay. We get it. I get it. I'm just saying. Do you know what? Dougie Fresh, Dougie McBuckets. Okay. So I think we kind of beat the basketball topic into the ground. Except one last thing. Before, just kind of a quick little thing. Do you think Kevin Love will be a Cleveland Cavalier at some point this season?
No.
No?
I think they hold on. At some point this season or before the season.
Will he be wearing a Cavs jersey by the trade deadline?
It's so hard. Yes. Okay.
Now, second part to that question, is Wiggins going the other way?
It's either going to be Bennett, depending how he's playing in a package, a bigger package, or Wiggins in a smaller package.
I think it's going to be something I think it's going to be Wiggins and Bennett. So that's what they seem to. That's what they want.
If that's what they get, I would take that deal as both teams in a second.
Well, they with Wiggins and Bennett and some package, some other stuff.
I wouldn't even package that much more up. Send a first round pick over.
But you have to match. You have to match salary.
Wouldn't the 2 first round overall picks be around the same salary as Kevin Love?
No, Kevin Love's on his second contract right now.
And he'd be getting a max probably next year. They probably do a sign and trade, right?
He signed a max extension, or max money, but a 3-year extension.
Yeah, and he'll probably be taking max money if he signs, because they'll probably do a sign and trade.
Well,
where they sign him to max in Minnesota, then ship him off.
No, because he would be able to resign in Cleveland to the max deal.
Oh, okay.
Because he's a free agent next summer.
Yeah, but they'll probably want him to be guaranteed before he comes over, right?
Well, that'll be part of the trade, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'd have a cousins of trade where they'd have to negotiate with, hey, are you going to sign long term or not?
Yeah.
But I think he's going to Cleveland. LeBron says he wants him there. Kevin Love says he would re-sign there, which is a huge factor in teams wanting to do it. And Minnesota keeps insisting they get Klay Thompson from Golden State, and they just seem so reluctant to do it that all the best offers are on the table right now.
Yeah.
I think if Minnesota had the deal they wanted,
it would have been done already.
It would be done by now, exactly. So I think teams can just hold out as long as possible because Minnesota's going to get desperate if they do not get anything done because Kevin Love has made it known he doesn't want to sign.
Yeah, he's not coming back.
He's not going home. He's not going back to Minnesota. If he's going home, he's going LA.
Even then,
if he's playing LeBron and going home. Okay. Enough NBA talk because there's still like 3 months until that season. Let's do some Blue Jays talk right now.
Yeah.
They just took 2 of 3 from New York. In New York, snapping his 17-game losing streak in the Bronx in the process.
Only Mark Burley can get over his jeepers there. Sweep. Yes, and I don't like that is just kind of an anomaly. Mark Burley against the New York Yankees. Like that's just weird. Yeah, that's like curse level stuff right there.
Yes. So they've won 7 of 9 now.
Yep. Considering they're doing like a hodgepodge of the Bison / like the Jays.
They're the Toronto Blue Bisons right now.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Sanchez has looked good in the 2 relief appearances he's been.
That kid is going to be fantastic.
He gave up a run today, but he still got credit for the win.
He's still a kid. He's still human. He's fine.
Exactly. Stroman has pitched very well.
He is going to be the ace of staff.
It's either going to be him or Sanchez.
I'd say probably him at this point.
Oh, really? Because even Stroman says Sanchez has better stuff than me.
True. I just think I just love Stroman, just the way he pitches.
Oh yeah, I'm not knocking Stroman whatsoever. I just think in 3 years it's going to be Sanchez getting the ball on opening day.
And if either one of those guys get traded, I will lose my shit. I will go down to the Rogers Center and throw a brick at Alex Anthopoulos.
I think at this point,
unless we're getting David Price in return.
I think at this point, now that they're both up here,
none of them move.
You can't move. Well, you can move them, but you can't.
If you do, you better be moving them for David Price.
Yeah, you have to be. You can't move. You wouldn't be able to move those guys for like a Samardzija. I know he's been traded already, but as an example of names that have been up.
Like a second level guy.
Yeah, you would have to get an ace right now with term back on the trade.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what David Price is.
Oh yeah.
But why? If you're Tampa, why are you trading him right now? You just rattled off 9 straight wins before. I think they lost today to Boston.
In there, yeah.
I think they lost today to Boston. Yeah, they lost 3-2 to Boston today. So
even though they're not that far out with this much time left.
They're only 6.5 back.
Yeah. What they were 9 back 2 weeks ago.
Exactly. So
they've already made 3 up.
Exactly. So someone said it to me. I think it was Steve Simmons on the Reporters today was saying they'd have to play 650 baseball for the rest of the season too.
They're capable of that.
But they're capable of that. Their guys are getting healthy. They lost a lot of pitchers early in the season due to health.
Yeah.
So they're getting guys back.
Hellickson's coming back, or has come back, I believe.
And that's what has to happen with Toronto.
Yep.
They need to get Lynn back. They need to get Laurie back. They need to get Edwin back.
Yeah. They're treading water until then, but they're still doing pretty well for treading water.
Exactly. That's the bright spot right now.
Because Orioles had a chance to pull away, but they haven't. They only have 1 extra win. They play a couple less games, but that means Toronto will have a couple more days off down the road, which might help them out a little more.
And Toronto is a team down the stretch that is going to pretty much control their own destiny with the amount of games they have left against their division. They have 6 games against Baltimore. They have 9. I think they have it's either 6 or 9. I think it was 9 before the weekend. So they have 6 games against the Yankees. They've got games against Tampa Bay. They've got games against Boston. They've got games against wild card teams.
Yeah.
So as much as it's hard to say they control their own destiny when they're I think they're in second right now in the East.
They are second right now, and they're the second spot for the wild card.
Yeah. Oh, they're second spot in the wild card?
Yeah.
I don't want the
Yankees were
wild
tied
card.
for the wild card, second wild card.
Okay. So even though they're in those positions, they control their own destiny with the teams that they play.
Yeah.
Because if they just beat the teams they're supposed to beat and, take 2 or 3 from teams in the division, you're laughing.
That's all you need.
That being said, you need those 3 guys I mentioned back. You need Dickey to be good. You need Burley to keep on doing what he's doing. Stroman has to be what he's been, which has been great for the team.
I think they need to give Hutchison some rest. I think they maybe switch Hutchison to the bullpen and Sanchez starting.
I think
Hutch starting to get tired.
Which is that makes sense. But you know what? No, actually, it's fine because we're at the end of July right now. What I don't want to see, what happened to Brandon Morrow? Where is he? Is he still hurt?
He's still hurt. He could be back late August, early September is what I read, I believe.
So even if he can get back to say what he was doing 2 years ago,
he can be on the 40-man roster in September. So at least they'll have an extra reliever / depending on how he gets stretched out.
Exactly. Even if he can get back to what he was maybe 85% of what he was 2 years ago.
Now, do you think they put him as a starter, or do you think they just put him as a bullpen? I see bullpen.
It depends what they need.
Bullpen.
If they don't get another starter from any starter before.
Do you think they need a starter, or do you think they need an infielder? I think they probably need a second baseman or a third baseman as a more urgent kind of position to put a guy in.
But see, when Laurie comes back,
still have a gap at second of kind of, but not even like I love Mooney because that's what I think they'll probably put there. Because Goen's defense is fantastic. Because I just think Mooney's kind of earned that spot when Laurie comes back at second. But even though you could try to get a third baseman, I know they said they're in for Headley, and you keep Laurie at second.
Well, they were in for Headley.
Or you could go outfield and move Batista to third. There's a lot of options.
And you do have a lot of what do you even if you want to do this, right? Say your infield would be once everyone's healthy.
Edwin.
With Edwin at first, Laurie 2, Reyes 3, Batista. Oh wait, sorry, I messed up there in my head. So Edwin 1, Laurie at second, Reyes shortstop, Batista third, Melky left, Rasmus center.
Goes right.
Right.
I'd be fine with that lineup.
Navarro catching, Lynn DH.
You have Reimold off the bench. You have Mooney off the bench.
You have Mooney off the bench.
You have Josh Soley.
Totally. And then you have Francisco.
That's a pretty good lineup.
And then in situations, specifically against right-handers, Francisco can play third. You can play Batista in right.
Yeah.
And Laurie can stay second. I think Laurie's adjusted well to second base this year.
Yeah, after a kind of rough start, he's gotten a lot better over there. Yeah. I think he's more suited for that position.
Well, he was a second baseman coming up.
Yeah, he uses more of his athleticism. Whereas third base, it's good, but second you can use that crazy range to a lot more advantage.
Yeah, and there's balls that he's going to get to and knock down and probably make an error on because he just knocks them down.
Yeah.
And he's going to get an error, but the average second baseman wouldn't get to him.
Yeah.
And it's a hit.
Not limit something from a double to a single, just from knocking the ball down.
Exactly. That's how athletic he is at second base.
I'm fine with that, but then if that happens, then you don't really need to trade for anyone. Maybe bullpen help, maybe a super sub off the bench.
I would want another starter.
Really?
I would. Because right now our rotation going into it would be is in no particular order. Dickey, Burley, Stroman, Hutch, and Happ. I want another guy.
Who would you take over that? You would take Happ out of there, maybe move him to the bullpen?
Yeah.
Or do you take Hutch out of there, move him to the bullpen, and put guy A into that spot?
One of those two.
Because if you're going to do that situation, you're probably going for a high-end pitcher.
Right.
So you're probably going to lose either Hutch, Stroman, or Sanchez.
I'm not saying
a combination of both of them.
I'm not saying I would do a deal. I'm not saying I would do a deal with those guys in it. I'm saying that's what if I'm the Blue Jays, that's what I'm targeting.
Yeah.
I'm targeting starting pitching help because I know you'll probably have to give up Hutch in the deal.
At the minimum,
but I don't know. It's just I think if they want to win, they're going to need help there. And I like Sanchez, but as good as he's shown in the minors and as in what the smallest sample size you can imagine in the big league so far, I wouldn't trust him in a big game if we needed him.
True, but the only guy that's really out there that can really do that would be Price. You might have what?
I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying we're going to be getting somebody. I'm not saying I would want to get
target someone you want to be a star pitcher.
Exactly, that's all I'm saying. I said if the one thing I'd be very comfortable with in a trade is if they somehow acquired a starting pitcher even if it's a lower end starting pitcher, that's better than Happ, to knock Happ out of the order, get him in the bullpen. That's just a bit of a luxury. I
actually think if you're going to do it, either go a great setup guy out of the bullpen, or a third, or more of an elite or higher end second or third baseman.
Okay. That's fine.
But I think the Jays will sit. I think they might trade for like a super sub sort of thing. Like a Marcus Scudero sort of situation where a guy can play every position. It's going to be like an above average player.
Right. That makes sense. And because now we're just talking speculation, I don't know. I don't. Like, I don't want to go back and talk about the World Cup because that's almost like half a month ago. I mean, the Leafs. The Leafs have their new GM that we kind of talked about.
Assistant GM. Sorry. They fired the two other guys who were in the front office, and they're relying on this kid who had 3 years in the Sioux. He describes himself as a statistics guy, but not as fully as analytics, because while he likes numbers, he doesn't really rely on numbers to qualify or to quantify, I should say, talent. He combines both of them, which is exactly what you should be doing. Old school.
Which is what you should be doing, especially in the hockey when there's so many more things that could happen than in baseball. Like there's so much more, so many more bounces that could happen in hockey compared to a baseball game.
I would go that far.
I think so. I think there's too many. I think there's
so many variables in baseball as well.
Yes, but that would affect numbers.
Baseball could.
There's not Well, baseball doesn't have something like it kicks off a guy. Like you can both boot a ball, but it's not going to boot up. Boot a ball. Guy's not going to boot a puck right to the other. Right to a defender, and it's going to affect their course because they have more time of possession in the zone. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I don't fully agree with you, but I know what you're saying.
Because so much of the numbers are based on like possession stats.
I guess so.
Or those can be inflated just by
depending on the team and
a guy skating around on the outside and nobody's challenging him. I just not let him get a shot to the net.
Yeah.
I'm not an analyst I'm not fully an analytics guy because I don't even know what half the stats mean because they're so ridiculous. Some of them are. But I like seeing numbers and saying, okay, this is what this means, and I can back that up by this is why that's happening.
Yeah.
Which I think why he's going to bring a breath of fresh air to the Leafs organization.
Yeah, but we say that about every guy that's supposed to be the savior of the Leafs.
But that's because every other guy
is supposed to be the savior.
All the other guys have been the same though. They've been hockey guys. You know what I mean? Like this guy is a hockey guy, but he has such a firm grasp on the knowledge of the numbers that like the Leafs had an analytics budget before where they didn't have to take any money out of it. They didn't spend any of it.
Yeah.
So,
and then it really depends if Nonas actually takes some, like how much opinion of his does he take?
Well, you know what? Shanahan hired him.
Shanahan hired him. That doesn't say anything about Nonas, like actually like paying attention.
No, I'm just saying. I know. I get what you're saying. My point is that if I'm this Dubas kid, I shouldn't say kid because he's still 2 years older than.
He's only
2.5 years older.
I'm gonna be the same age as them. Already got him depressed now.
Like if I'm him,
I'm gonna go do sports management at Niagara next year.
Are you?
Yes, I am.
Oh, congratulations!
Thank you. I'm gonna sign up. I'm probably gonna sign up for the course probably within the next month or so.
Oh, congratulations! Well, are you going to be? Do you know if you're going to be accepted?
I would think so.
Okay. Anyway,
I'm an embracing fool.
My point is this: is that you have a huge backer in Shanahan.
I think he might be groomed because I don't see Carlisle and Notice sticking around forever.
Exactly.
If Shanahan's gone, cut every one of his lieutenants from last year, left, right, and center, and that all they've left is them two.
Exactly.
That doesn't usually Is there any younger assistant coaches on or down on the Marlies?
I think they hired Steve Spott as the coach of the Marlies, but
I don't really know too much about him.
Neither do I. But if I'm Dubas and I'm not getting anywhere with Nonis, guess what I'm doing?
Hey, Shanny.
Hey,
what you up to?
Exactly. Oh, I got this great idea. I tried to run it by Dave, but he wasn't too fond of it. I want to hear what you want to say about it.
Trade Phaneuf for a bag of pucks. Done.
Well, okay, let's not get unrealistic here. You think we can get a bag of pucks for Phaneuf? Yeah, exactly. So, you already know you have a powerful ally in that front office because it's not like Dubas was knocking on Shanny's door saying, I want this job. They had two guys there that were part of Nonis's regime.
Yeah.
Cut, gone. Bring in this young hockey mind.
If that doesn't threaten your job to make you do better, I don't know what will.
Yeah. So, as much as I think it's going to be it'll be nice for the Leafs, and you see, I respect your opinion that, Nonis might just shoo him away, because that's probably going to happen from time to time.
Yeah.
But he's going to go into Shannon like, you brought me in for this reason.
Let me do my job.
Let me do my job. This is why I'm doing this. And then Shannon will bring in Nonis and say, Nonis, why aren't you listening to him?
Nonis, what the heck?
Why couldn't the Leafs have 24/7 this year? I would love to watch that drama happen. Would love
Who's got 24/7 this year?
I don't even know who's in the Winter Classic this year, or which of the 7 Winter Classics is going to be, because I think there's probably be another 7 of them this year, which is just stupid.
Yeah. Why are you having one in LA? Why?
Hey, it worked. It was a spectacle. It was really cool to see, actually. But now we've seen it, so we don't need to see it again. Let's just jump into the wins and fails, because we're just kind of running on fumes, I think, right now. Sean, do you want to start off? Because I know your feel is a little more darker than what I'm going to come up with. Yeah, a little heavier than what I'm going to come up with. So
yeah, my fail, because I came up with a new win while we were speaking. I wrote it down. My fail is to Stephen A. Smith, the NFL, Ray Rice. So many people kind of say that they're just being stupid. Specifically Stephen A. Smith for going on air I can't believe they did this, and just saying that women should pretty much just be subservient and do whatever their man says to make sure that they don't get assaulted. That is absolutely ridiculous. Who would actually say that in public, especially when you're on one of the biggest sports stations in the world? It's mind-boggling. And then to the NFL for only giving Ray Rice a 2-year suspension.
Two games.
Sorry,
2 years. Because 2 year would be pretty long. And
yes.
Only 2
years, that'd be perfect. For giving Ray Rice a 2-game suspension, sorry. I was thinking about something else before I was coming up. Well, giving people who've done marijuana, personally I'm not a user, but giving them 4-game suspensions. Sure. I've never done it before. I will take a drug test, sir.
I'm just messing.
But giving players like Tanar Jackson or I can't even think of all the people who've been suspended in the past year for marijuana suspensions, and they get 4-game bans. I know, 4-game bans, and they've gotten a year suspension with Tanar Jackson. Actually, he's on an indefinite suspension now. So the crime doesn't fit the punishment. What Ray Rice did was a lot worse, and I know it's outside the game, but it's one of those things. Kids look up to these players. Kids in Baltimore don't have a lot to look up to, especially now that Ray Lewis, their murder captain, has left the team. So Ray Rice has to be one of those players that is the upstanding citizen for kids to look up to. So, shame on the NFL, Ray Rice, Stephen A. Smith, everything involved in this situation. It is a debacle. But I will give my win to the 50-50 draw for the Stamps, getting up to, $375,000 or somewhere in the ballpark?
It was upwards of $350,000, maybe more, yeah.
That's ridiculous. That's awesome. That's the way you get, and apparently there was crowds for the entire game just for the 50-50 draw. Well, that's how you draw And that's how you draw a crowd to a game.
I think what happened...
Someone didn't claim it from the game before.
Right.
So $70,000 already into the pot.
Yeah.
So then people are like, holy Jesus, let's just go throw a bucket, throw a full of money, and just see what happens. And it gets to $300,000 more.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, the average apparently at a Leafs, for 3/4 of the season at a Leafs game, if 3/4 of the season would just match that one game in the CFL. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, the CFL's alive and strong out here out west.
Yeah. And also I'm going to give a mini thumbs up to the GM. I had it up here. The GM of the Texas Rangers single A affiliate, the Myrtle Beach Pelicans.
Oh, I love the Pelicans.
Who does love the Pelicans? Who had a prostate exam done to him during the 7th inning stretch while singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" while having fingers put up his butt. Let's check for cancer. You, sir, are a champ. Good for you. That's all I got.
Okay, well, that's good. That's good. I do want to say one thing about the 50-50 draw is they did this smart thing of not announcing the winner at the game, or else that guy, he might not have made it out of the, like, I'm not saying like this is about Edmonton, but some people might have harmed him and taken some of the money.
Oh, 100%.
Like that could have that could happen at any stadium. It's a prize that big is announced. So, as much as the people in the stadium did not like it, I think it was the right move in the long run. I'm going to start with my fail, and it's not going to be nearly as heavy as your fail, unless you're the guy I'm speaking about. Troy Tulowitzki of the Colorado Rockies. They had he's been their star player for quite some time now. They had a T-shirt giveaway for him. I think it was Saturday, either Friday or Saturday. But guess what they did?
What did they do, Brett?
They spelled his name wrong on the T-shirt.
And how long have you been with the team, Brett?
Oh, we drafted Russ. The Jays didn't draft Tulowitzki because they had Russ Adams in place. That's how long it was.
Wasn't that the year of Ricky Romero?
That was Ricky Romero draft year. Yes. And we didn't draft him. He's been in that organization for I can't even think of the number. Like what, 7-8 years now?
I'll go out there.
Like how he's your marquee player, and how do you spell that wrong? You think one person in the entire design, in the process of the design, like, hey, that doesn't look right. Figure out how to spell your players' names, Colorado. Get off the reefer.
Oh, it's legal there now, right?
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah, they are getting off that.
my win, my high five, whatever you want to call it. It's going to. It happens every year, right around this time of year. Madden starts releasing their ratings for their players.
Yeah.
And I know you're super excited for the game.
Oh, it looks fantastic.
Exactly. I love seeing players react to how they're rated. I think it's great. I think it's a lot of fun. Just to see them either be happy or just saying, what are you guys doing? So they released a video for the top 10 rookies, or for the rookies that are going to be in the game this year.
The top draft picks, I believe it was.
Exactly, yeah. And they were, not top because they had Teddy Bridgewater there.
Yeah.
Because he was drafted 32nd overall. Anyways, they had a reaction video of all of them reacting to the ratings. They said what they thought before and then what they had after. And it was just a lot of fun. Them saying, people saying, oh, how'd you not rate me higher in this? I should be this in speed. Blake Bortles saying, yeah, so what? What's my punting rating? Johnny Manziel saying,
well, I guess. That's the attitude to have.
And Johnny Manziel saying, well, I guess I'm not that accurate because his accuracy numbers are pretty bad. Like, that's just good fun to help promote the game.
Have you seen the top 10 actual rookie ratings?
I know I think Sammy Watkins was an 80, but he has like 95.
It's all his stuff.
His speed and agility ratings are off the charts.
Because I have the list here. The top 10.
Do it.
Or top 13. Sorry,
Let's do top 10. Make it an even number.
Top 10. Okay. At 10 is Bortles at 78.
He's the highest rated quarterback, isn't
he? Yes.
Okay.
Bortles is 78. Taylor Lewan from Tennessee, the offensive lineman, 79. Clinton Dix is 79. Aaron Donald is 79 as well. Kevin Pryor, 79. Sammy Watkins, shout out to the Buffalo right there. Is an 80. We got Jake Matthews from Atlanta, 81. Khalil Mack as 81. Greg Robinson is an 83. And Jadeveon Clowney, what do you think he is?
He's an 83.
Yes, he is. And
I've seen him. I've already seen him. Okay, if you move him to defensive line, he jumps up to a 92.
Which makes sense. Because if I do a fantasy draft, that's exactly what I'll do.
And that's probably because his coverage skills are probably pretty poor. So once you take that away by putting him on the line, they don't put as much in the formula. There's not as much of an emphasis on those numbers. So.
Yeah, and then shout out to Mike Evans at 78 as well.
So what do you do? So you play him at defensive end, and then in this contract year you move him to linebacker, so you can sign him for a cheaper deal.
No, you move him on to offensive line.
Oh.
Then he's dirt cheap. That's the way to really cheat the system.
Oh my god, that's
the way I used to do in the old mans. Is like move them. Like I'd have like Josh Freeman back when he was good. I'd move him to
we're talking what, Madden 06?
Pretty much. I'd move him to kicker, and he'd be like a 12 rating. I'd then resign for like 7 years, and then move back to quarterback.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That's a good way to get around the system. Have your team for the ever.
Yeah, that is good. So yeah, we'll wrap it up there. I think that's a pretty nice conversation to end on. It's some lighthearted stuff. Although I do want to give one shout out. We give a shout out to Sammy Watkins. I'm going to give another one for that one-handed catch he made after stumbling in practice, which was very impressive.
You guys got a good receiver.
We do.
Probably the best receiver since Mr. Reed, which also shout out for he's going in the Hall of Fame this Friday.
Yes, and I just hope
Derek Brooks, or Saturday, I believe.
I just hope that Eugene Manuel can continue developing, and then we'll be good.
I think more stay healthy.
Yes, continue developing, stay healthy. Same boat, really, because you're not going to continue developing if you're hurt.
Not healthy. Yeah, makes sense.
So we're going to wrap up here. Sean will be hopefully starting the division previews soon.
It's actually you'll have it by the weekend, sir. Actually, you'll have it by Wednesday.
All of the divisions?
No, you'll have NFC West. I'm going to start with the champs.
Fair enough. Who won the ESPY for best team, by the way?
They did.
So, Sean, we should expect that sometime next week?
Yes.
All right, and you are at Sean_McD2 on Twitter. Give him a follow. Give me a follow at SmithBR10. We are at Sports By Schmucks on Twitter. No S in sport. Well, there's an S in sport, but no S at the end of sport. That was confusing. You'll see it just check the description below. It has all of our Twitters and stuff like that. Subscribe to our videos. I know I haven't posted an NHL 14 video in a while. I'm still getting over that first round loss to Vancouver. We're up 31 in that series, and it kind of hurts.
Yeah, how'd you blow that, buddy?
Hey, I didn't play the games. I'm simulating it, right?
But you're the GM, sir.
Hey, I put the I
architect.
The teams. I iced the team. Exactly, I'm the architect.
Way to go, Brian Burke.
I architected them to a 3-1 lead, and then the coaching blew it.
Way to go, Brian Burke.
Yeah. Well, hey, we made the playoffs, so I can't say that about Brian Burke's team this year.
Way to go, Dave Jonas.
Yeah. Okay. So enough about that. I should be coming up with a video for that sometime this week. I mean, I didn't have a lot of time. My parents were here all the time. So, thank you guys for listening, and have a good rest of the summer. We got a month left before kids go back to school, and then you know what that means when kids go back to school?
Nothing.
NFL football.
Yeah.
Right. So have a good day out there, guys, and I don't know, Sean, do you have a good sign off?
Yes.
That's good enough.